Okay folks, so you might have just seen our last video, which was flying Qantas and Link from Melbourne into Hobart. We are now in Hobart. Oh well, we're just outside Hobart, but we're on Tasmania, and we've picked up our rental car, which we've got through a Bargain Rentals. It's MG. Not going to lie, it looks okay, but it's pretty shocking to drive.
Even though the car was shocking to drive, Bargain Rentals itself was really good. They do multiple destinations across Australia. The prices are cheap, and you can also include all the insurance within the price if you want to. Now, for our time here on Tasmania, we hired a SUV. It was an MG SUV, and yes, it wasn't the best drive, but I couldn't fault Bargain Rentals. As I've said, the price was cheap, the car was clean, it was in great condition, and nothing went wrong for our entire 4-day trip on Tasmania. You can order the car direct on the website just by going through the book form and select which car you'd like, and then if you want to pay now or pay at the time, you can see the changes in price with that. They do offer some premium cars as well if you do want to spend a little bit more to get them. If you're looking at Bargain Rentals but think that maybe they were a bit too cheap and you were concerned with what you might get, I can honestly say Bargain Rentals was fine for us. Yes, they do mostly MG cars, which are probably the reason why they're going to be cheaper, and yes, they weren't the best cars to drive in the world, but it's a hire car for a few days, and it's definitely worth giving them a go and saving yourself a bit of money.
Anyway, we're heading to Cradle Mountain now. We're going to spend a night in Cradle Mountain National Park. We're staying in a lovely lodge there, and yeah, the next day we're going to head hiking, go out hiking, and you'll see it all on this episode, so stay tuned folks.
Tasmania is an island state of Australia, located just to the south of mainland Australia across the Bass Strait. Cradle Mountain is located within the Central Highlands region of the state of Tasmania. The Cradle Mountain National Park is a protected wilderness area. It's approximately a 4.5-hour drive from Hobart. Major access points are from the north side of the park.
In South Australia I was born. We're bound for South Australia. Holloway, you rolling king, heave away, Holloway, Holloway, you'll hear me sing. We're bound for South Australia. Holloway, you rolling king, heave away, Holloway, Holloway, you'll hear me sing. We're bound for South Australia. In South Australia I was born, heave away, Holloway. In South Australia round Cape Horn, we're bound for South Australia. In South Australia I was born.
Hi folks, and welcome to Cradle Mountain National Park. Now, it looks a lot like Scotland or the Lake District here, and we've got the typical weather for it as well. It's absolutely chucking it down today, which is why I'm doing the starting link after we've finished doing our walks. So we're pretty wet through, but got a long drive to Hobart ahead of us. We'll crack on the heat and hopefully we'll dry off. Anyway, let's get down to the point on Cradle Mountain National Park. So there's a main visitors centre, which is where you park your car and then you have to get a shuttle bus which takes you round the park, stops you off at a few different stops. You can get out. There's so many different hikes that you can then go and do. And then you get back on one of the other shuttle buses. They come every 10 or 15 minutes. And you then go on to whichever point or stop you want to do next, go for another walk, head back to the visitor centre, whatever you want to do. Now, if you're in Tasmania and you want to visit a few national parks, you're probably best off getting the holiday pass. And that is a pass that gives you access to all the national parks on Tasmania within a 2-month period. So it should be fine for most people. That costs $93.15 Australian dollars, that is. And you can enter as many parks at the parks as you want, as many times as you want within that 2-month period. Cradle Mountain National Park is included in that. But what isn't included is the shuttle bus that you need to get from the visitors centre to the different stops. The shuttle bus costs an extra $15 per person, and you can just add that on top. If you only want to come to Cradle Mountain National Park and you just want to do the shuttle bus around, then you can get something that's called an Icon Pass, and that is a daily 24-hour pass that gives you access to the park and the shuttle buses, and that is $29 Australian dollars. So, little bit of facts about Cradle Mountain National Park now. Cradle Mountain has 4 named summits. You've got Cradle Mountain itself, which is the highest, at 1,545 metres. You've then got Smithers Peak at 1,527 metres. You've then got Weindorfer's Tower, which sits at 1,459 metres. And also you've got Little Horn as well, that sits at 1,355 metres. Cradle Mountain itself was named due to its resemblance of that of a gold mining cradle. And in 1982, Cradle Mountain National Park became a UNESCO World Heritage Site as well. The visitors centre and shuttle buses run from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and are every 10 to 15 minutes, as I said. In the winter, it runs from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And it's every 15 to 20 minutes, but it's super easy to catch, really easy to get. Visitor centre looks lovely. It's all modern and new as well. There's a cafe in there, and some other things for you to do. Today we've headed up around Dove Lake, and as you can see from the videos, it was extremely wet. The mountains were bathed in cloud. Is that a word? The low-hanging cloud was still covering the mountains at the time. We've then come down and we've gone to the Pencil Pine Falls, as well as a name I cannot pronounce, but I will stick it on the screen, and we went to see those waterfalls as well. And it was lovely. Honestly, if it was a hot sunny day, this place would be incredible, and it's well worth coming for a few days and staying up here and exploring the national park as a whole. I think that's it for Cradle Mountain National Park. We're going to make our way south towards Hobart.
Hobart is located about a 4.5-hour drive south of Cradle Mountain. It is the capital city of the state of Tasmania, and it is located on the southeastern part of Tasmania on the estuary of the River Derwent.
In South Australia, I was born.
Hi folks, and welcome to Hobart and Tasmania in general. So we were going to do this from the top of Mount Wellington, which is one of the most iconic peaks here in Hobart, and you get a lovely view of the city from it. But it's closed. They're doing maintenance on the road, so we can't get up there. So we're here at Mount Nelson Signal Station, and it'll have to do. So Hobart, what's it famous for? Well, it's renowned for its art, freshly caught seafood, and mountains. You can do all in one day. It's Australia's southernmost capital, and it's brimming with history and bursting with creativity. It boasts an incredible food and wine scene, with local produce making the short journey from farm to table. It was founded in 1804, and it's one of the only major cities where you can see the Southern Lights. Best viewings from spots on Roseney Hill, Lookout, or Mount Wellington as well. It's home to Australia's oldest brewery, which was founded in 1832. by Peter D. Graves, and that is Cascade Brewery. You've also got the Salamancia Market as well, which runs every Saturday from 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m, which showcases Tasmanian food, wine, arts and crafts. It's also the home to the Museum of Old and New Art as well, Mona, which is the Southern Hemisphere's largest private museum. Obviously you've got Mount Wellington, which forms the city's backdrop, and Mount Wellington tops out at 1,270 metres, and offers great views of the city when you can get up there. Yeah, I'm a little bit annoyed that we can't get up there, but never mind. Things to do close by, you've got Bonorong Wildlife Sanctuary. You've got Port Arthur, which is just an hour and 17 minutes drive away, and you've got Coles Bay Conservation Area and the lovely Wineglass Bay, which is a beach that you can walk down to or get a boat to. You can't drive to it. It's about an hour and a half walk from the car park there and back. It's a lovely little beach. Definitely head down there if you want to go.
Wineglass Bay is located to the northeast of Hobart. It's about a 2-hour, 39-minute drive and is 197 kilometres away. Wineglass Bay sits within Freycinet National Park, which does mean you will need to have a park pass to enter. Now, as I said earlier, when we were at Cradle Mountain, we got the holiday pass, which covers all the national parks on Tasmania, and all we had to do was park in the large car park, pop the national park pass in our windscreen, and then it's fine. You can leave your car, and if anyone comes around to check, they will see the park pass. So, as I've said, there is a large car park. It does get busy though, so do try and get there early, or be prepared to park in some of the overflow areas that they have there as well. And from the car park, you've got toilets just to your right as you go up towards the hiking areas, and there is a water refill station there. You do then have signs with the routes on them that you can take. We just decided to walk across to the lookout point and then down onto Wineglass Bay. It is quite an up and down route. It's up all the way to the lookout and then down to the bay, and obviously vice versa on the way back. And the walk does take about an hour and a half to get from the car park to the bay.
We're bound for South Australia. Holloway, you rolling king. Heave away, Holloway, Holloway, you'll hear me sing. We're bound for South Australia. Holloway, you rolling king. Heave away, Holloway, Holloway, you'll hear me sing. We're bound for South Australia. In South Australia I was born. Heave away, Holloway. In South Australia round Cape Horn. We're bound for South Australia. In South Australia I was born. Heave away, Holloway.
The first lookout station that you come to is for Coles Bay, and it's a stunning view over Coles Bay. You then continue on your walk to the lookout point for Wineglass Bay. It's a stunning view of Wineglass Bay and the surrounding area. From up here though, you do think it's going to be such a long walk down to the bay itself, but it's not, and it does fly by, as you'll see coming now. Now, the walk does say 1.5 hours return. I think in total it probably would have took us about an hour if we hadn't stopped on the beach itself. So that's 30 minutes down and 30 minutes back up, or more like 20 minutes down and 40 minutes back up, because on the way back up you are climbing quite a bit. The walk is steep in parts and there are steps. to get down. I'd say most people would be able to tackle the walk itself. Obviously, if you do have mobility issues, you might not be able to get down.
South Australia, and as we wallop round Cape Horn, heave away, haul away. You wish to God you've never been born. We're bound for South Australia. Haul away, you rolling king.
It does flatten out in parts though, so you do get a bit of respite from the from either the steep incline or the steep decline. And then you're met with the incredible view of Wineglass Bay, with the beautiful blue waters and the golden sand. It is a tourist attraction here on Tasmania, but the beach itself wasn't actually busy, as you can see. Now, you would have to carry all your stuff down to the beach and back up again, so if you do plan to make a day of it, just remember it is a bit of a walk, and if you've got heavy bags, it will make it more challenging. But it's well worth a visit.
In South Australia, round Cape Horn. In South Australia, I was born. We're bound for South Australia.
You've also got Mount Wellington, as we've spoken about, which is only 25 minutes from the city. You've got Gordon's Dam, which is 2 hours 23 from the city.
Rolling king, heave away, haul away, haul away. You'll hear me sing. We're bound for South Australia. Haul away, you're rolling king, heave away, haul away, haul away. You'll hear me sing. We're bound for South Australia. In South Australia, I was born. Heave away, haul away. In South Australia, round Cape Horn. We're bound for South Australia. In South Australia, I was born. Heave away, haul away. In South Australia, round Cape Horn. We're bound for South Australia.
And you've got Mountfield National Park, which is 1 hour 42 from the city. Mountfield National Park sits to the northwest of Hobart. As I've said, it's about 1 hour and 25 minute drive, which equates to 82.7 kilometres. Again, Mountfield National Park is a national park of Tasmania. So if you've purchased a holiday pass, it covers entrance into the park. If you've not, then you'll have to buy a separate Mountfield National Park entry ticket on your way in. There's plenty of car parking, and when we arrived at about midday, there was plenty of spaces still to be had.
Haul away, you're rolling king. Heave away, haul away, haul away. You'll hear me sing. We're bound for South Australia. As I walked out one morning fair, heave away, haul away. Was there I met Miss Nancy Blair. We're bound for South Australia. There's just one thing that's on my mind. Heave away, haul away. That's leaving Nancy Blair behind. We're bound for South Australia. And as we wallop round Cape Horn, heave away, haul away. You wish to God you've never been born. We're bound for South Australia. Haul away, you're rolling king. Heave away, haul away, haul away. You'll hear me sing. We're bound for South Australia. Australia, I was born. In South Australia, round Cape Horn. In South Australia, I was born. We're bound for South Australia. Haul away, you're rolling king. Heave away, haul away, haul away. You'll hear me sing. We're bound for South Australia. Haul away, you're rolling king. Heave away, haul away, haul away. You'll hear me sing. sing. We're bound for South Australia. In South Australia I was born. Heave away, haul away. In South Australia round Cape Horn. We're bound for South Australia. In South Australia I was born. Heave away, haul away. In South Australia round Cape Horn. We're bound for South Australia.
So we're in Mountfield National Park at the moment. We've just hiked up to Russell Falls and then onto Horseshoe Falls, and honestly it's absolutely stunning. And that Tasmania is fantastic for just a complete mix of climates and eco zones. You've got stuff like Cradle Mountain National Park, where you saw us earlier, which is just a fantastic highland like national park. You've then got the beaches and Coles Bay and Wineglass Bay, which is just stunning. 9 Mile Beach, which is what we went to, and it was deserted. If you want to spend a day out at the beach, definitely come to Tasmania.
South Australia I was born. In South Australia round Cape Horn. Bound for South Australia. Haul away, you're rolling king. Heave away, haul away, you'll hear me sing.
And then you've got this place here, and you're almost in the rainforest. Got lots of natural water and waterfalls as well for you to see and hike through. Honestly, if you come into Australia, come to Tasmania. You could spend a week here, you could spend 10 days here. Most of us won't be able to do that because you'd have to get back home. You'd only get so much holiday for work and that, but it is fantastic. There's so much to do. We've stayed at Cradle Mountain. You've seen the Bushman's Hut, which was fantastic. Well worth staying a few days there. We based ourselves in Hobart, but you could travel anywhere in the island. There's still so much to see and do. So come to Tasmania and give it a go, folks. Everything, it's absolutely lovely part of the world. The roads are pretty quiet as well, apart from inside Hobart. So you haven't got a problem with driving around if you want to hire a car or anything. So give it a go on your next trip. Come to Australia and make sure you definitely visit Tasmania.
South Australia. As I walked out one morning fair, heave away, haul away, was there I met Miss Nancy Blair. We're bound for South Australia. There's just one thing that's on my mind. Heave away, haul away, that's leaving Nancy.
As always,
Blair
folks,
behind.
stick a comment on the video if you want. Please like it. Feel free to subscribe. It's free for you to do. And we'll see you on the next one. Happy travels, folks. Goodbye.
Haul away, you're rolling king. Heave away, haul away, you'll hear me sing. We're bound for South Australia.